MAGA will be twerking for bugs. Hello, everybody. Happy 2025. I can't believe we all survived. We made it to 2025, guys.
Yeah.
Right in time for Donald Trump to take down the deep state, right, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's gonna take down the deep state.
Oh yeah.
So is Elon Musk.
Yeah. Because he definitely did it in his first term, am I right?
He did. And Elon Musk is going to take down the deep state because he's totally against digital ID and... Oh. We'll get into that in a bit. Hey everybody, it is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm still trying to get the ick off 2024. God damn. I swear I've been back to work for like 3 days and I'm already done. I'm already just fucking over it. Like, ugh.
Well, I work with CBS Sports, but thankfully I'm working at home, so it's not too much for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I also work at home too. The job just fucking sucks. I did that thing where I was enjoying a job and then I took a new position and I'm not liking the new position, so I don't really know what to do except like look elsewhere. And it really sucks because the people at my job are amazing. Like they do really stand up for like their workers and shit, which I really like. But the problem is like the product sucks. So it is what it is. Anyway, it is the second day of this year, and the Psyops already seem to be popping the fuck off. Oh my god. I'm just seeing like an ocean of them between the Cybertruck exploding and all of the narratives that the narrative managers are trying to cobble together over the Cybertruck exploding. Bird flu, that kind of stuff's popping off, which is great. If there's one thing I want, it's more of fucking the COVID stuff, because that works so well. That really just, the amount of information that was correct and the decision making that was flawless. I just need more of that correct information and flawless decision making. Oh god. At this point, I just hope it's going to be like monkeypox. You know, like there's just a bunch of chirping and nobody fucking pays attention, and it just like it weirdly disappears, because that's what happened with monkeypox. They're like, this is a big deal, and then it just like people stopped caring, and monkeypox, I guess, disappeared. I don't know. Hopefully it's the same with bird flu. Hopefully bird flu itself doesn't pop off. I don't know what to say, really. Let's see. What other dopey psyops do we got going on? The shit with Israel's getting even worse, so that's good. I love how they managed to outdo their expectations. The MAGA crowd is going full NPC, and I want to kind of cover Elon a little bit, just because honestly, like, it is perplexing to me how the right fell in love with this dude. Yeah. It really is super weird, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. But I just find it weird that, you know, at least the neoliberals, or liberals in general, how they claim they hate Elon Musk, but, you know, and honestly, they're agree with him with a lot of stuff. So, or if you know what I mean. So, like, it's all
No,
one thing.
actually, let's start with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I saw a tweet that was really interesting. This kind of sums it up, really, if you think about it. If you really think about it. People didn't want Klaus Schwab to take over the world and push his dystopian agenda, yet somehow Elon pushing for the same agenda makes it okay now. Many have eyes, but few see. I don't know who Red Pill USA is. He's anti-woke, libertarian. Ew. Okay, he's libertarian. Whatever. But like, just some of the shit Elon said in the past. Synthetic mRNA is basically digital medicine with incredible potential. That one I do agree with. I'm a huge mRNA fan, but I don't think they handled it even remotely well. I do think there's a cure for cancer in there somewhere, for sure. I like the technology itself. I just don't like the psychopaths who are using it. Sounds like he doesn't realize Tesla makes a vaccine machine for CureVac. At some point, having a Neuralink will be normal. The only action needed to solve climate change is a carbon tax. This is from Andrea Lynn. She is base as hell. Give her a follow. She's been shitting on MAGA for a while now, just like pointing out like how they're all in a cult. Oh my god, some of her tweets are hilarious. But this gotta perplex me. It perplexes the shit out of me. Because, like, I'm sorry, how did the right fall in love with this guy? He supports all the shit that they freak out about every day. Elon Musk is Klaus Schwab's personal jockstrap. I don't get it. This in of itself, Elon Musk in and of itself, was a brilliant psyop. Because this guy is like 200% in the tank for like the transhumanist technocratic nightmare that they all were worried Biden was going to usher in. Not that there's really any difference between Biden or Trump. That I don't know. Just roll the dice. You're getting the same shit. But like, it's fascinating to me. How the right fell in love with this guy. Just because he was like, and it's really kind of an indication, in my opinion, of like just how consumed the West is with culture war shit. Because on paper, when you think of policies, when you think of initiatives, Elon Musk is completely in the tank for all these New World Order people. But because he's against the woke mind virus and he complains about like trans people and shit, they just love him. They're willing to completely ignore all of the like dystopia that he's horny for, because he just pays a little lip service to the anti-wokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating to me, because like that goes to show that your average, well, not average American, but some Americans actually care more about this culture war shit than like how their country's run. They care more about bathrooms and pronouns and fucking gender and fucking gender ambiguity.
And current California Day shit.
Mm-hmm. They care more about that shit than they care about what's going to happen to their country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gotten to a point where as long as these like billionaires just like say some, I don't know, mean things about like the wokes, the libs, they'll be totally fine with them ushering in like a digital fascist nightmare of a dystopia. They're fine with that as long as it's an anti-woke dystopia. I don't know, it's really... This is the most surprising part of the development. Because really, like, how is this guy a good sell? He's not even a good sell. You look up these tweets.
and even I can never pronounce his last name correctly. Vivek Swampsy or whatever his last name is.
Ramaswamy.
He's been under a lot of fire for his tweets as well. So yeah.
What is Vivek up to lately?
Just stupid business shit, or like Jimmy Dore's been covering it lately the last couple days. So yeah.
America is the land of meritocracy / bureaucracy. 100. What is this? What is this cope? If I was a smart leftist, I would go all in on trying to create a schism between MAGA and tech world. We must resist this. It's an op. Our coalition will naturally have differing opinions. Together we beat the Democrats in November, and now together we will save America. So let me get this straight. It's who is doing the psyop? Because the factions are MAGA and Elon and Vivek and Trump all saying the same thing about the H-1B visa thing. That they're for it and, just suck it up and deal with it. And yeah, it's fine. Who's the psyop? Is it Trump? Is it Elon? Like, in their mind, who is doing the op?
I mean, I would just say both of them are doing it. Probably the best answer.
I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who is opping?
Yeah.
What are the comments? How bad are the comments? Oh my god, this boomer shit. I swear to fucking god. What is this? Why would you post that? This you? Oh, how much did you get paid for the flip? Oh no. Oh, they're cooking him in the comments. Every year, the United States issues 80,000 non-agricultural guest worker visas, 85,000 H-1B visas, hundreds of thousands of agricultural visas. Retweet if we need a full moratorium on all visas while more 22 million American citizens are out of work.
And he tweeted when Trump was president in the first term. So,
oh my god. How many likes? 1.2k likes. Man, they're getting cooked. MAGA is not fucking happy about this. That is really funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing to say, at least some, if not all, or at least maybe a lot of MAGA supporters, they're not happy with what's been going on lately with either Trump's picks or what the administration's doing. I don't exactly know, but it is kind of good to see them actually respond and not be happy about it. So,
well, here's the thing, right? Like in the MAGA world, we're surprised to see some of them like vocally pushing back against Trump because there's such a cult feeling to his following. But we got to understand, like, just as some of us are like post-duopoly or to the left of liberals, to the left of Biden, there's going to be people shitting on Trump. All of us shit on Biden for 4 years. That doesn't mean we're right-wingers. Doesn't mean we're fascists.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I've spent the whole time attacking Biden from the left.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a major divide, and that presents an opportunity. Because if we can convince those people to get on the post-duopoly train like we're on, that's good. Because essentially we can just say, like, look, like, they run this play every time. They bring in a change agent like Trump or Obama, or pick one. There's always some kind of change agent who comes in, says, government bad, I will make government good. Vote for me. It's time for a change. Time for us to move forward and hope and better America. Blah blah blah. And then everybody votes for them. They do cartwheels and start twerking all over the place in celebration. And then the guy gets in, and it's just status quo bullshit. And a war, always some kind of war.
Yeah.
Except for Trump, because I keep forgetting he's the anti-war candidate. He's definitely not gonna. He definitely doesn't have a foreign country of any kind in mind for his term. Definitely not. $100 million says otherwise. Oh fuck, we're cooked. Okay, so let's get into
as Miss Sarcasm Misty or Sarcasm Dark Comrade Misty would say, we're so fucked.
Yep. That's definitely a quotable from Misty for sure.
Yeah.
What's this? Bongino? Who is this guy again?
Where do we get some of our most trouble from
I've seen
on
him
this
from
show?
Fox News before, I think.
Yes, sir. Thank you. There's nothing these people love more than pretending to be conservatives and going in and fostering division amongst conservatives.
Oh my god. Are you guys really just first discovering that fucking wreckers exist? Hey, Steph. Jesus Christ, this live stream is buried. Had to search for it. Not good. Trump voice. Yeah, so INN has been shadow banned for a while. I get the same thing. I don't ever get notifications of INN going live. I never see it on the YouTube page. I have to always go in and look for it. So thank you for joining us. But yeah, YouTube is not a fan of INN. Which is why your support is so important. Is this guy really just figuring out like wreckers exist?
Most of the stuff we get from concern. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm involved with Rumble. Guy the other day starts tearing it up on Twitter. You guys shadow banned me on we did. I look into it. I don't know where he got totally, completely fabricated, made up. I don't know what happened. But this is what, I don't know if he just didn't type the name in wrong. I mean, we just typed it in right there. We don't shadow ban anybody. That's just not what we do. Stuff like that's a small example of what happens all the time. These people are devious. They want the DeSantis people to eat the Trump people alive.
They want the Santa's people. Not the Santa's people. Oh, the Santa's people. The Santa's people want to eat the Trump people. I love these fucking captions so much.
Trump people to eat the DeSantis people alive. I would not be.
Here's what this actually means. Okay, just to translate Bonginoese for everybody. Basically what this means, and you're seeing a lot of this don't divide us language, this like, don't let them split us up. The left will win if we don't come together. They're essentially saying, you have to be okay with all of the bullshit and heel turns and rug pulls that we're going to do. We're already doing, even though we're not even in office. You got to be okay with that, or you're like a secret operative, or like a wrecker, or like a fake conservative. I know the play. I know this play well. I know this play from dealing with liberals for years upon years. This whole don't let them divide us. We have to be united. A lot of people are experiencing this for the first time.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
They're experiencing this, the same shit we've been put through for years upon years. They're going through it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, all I can say is buckle up, guys, because it's going to get rough.
Yeah.
Anyway. I suppose we should cover the Cybertruck incident. Follow Hotspot if you haven't already. But if you have been living under a cave, there was a Cybertruck that exploded.
Copy.
Right outside, I believe.
I was gonna say it doesn't look like it was just a normal explosion either.
Yeah, right outside Trump Tower. The alleged Cybertruck bomber suspect served at the same military base as the terrorist responsible for the attack in New Orleans, ABC. Authorities are now actively investigating a possible connection between the two men. Oh, look at that. Yeah, Hotspot's definitely got the scoop here. Matt Livelsberger, seen wearing a Slava Ukraini t-shirt in this photo, served at Fort Bragg, the same military base that anti-Trump fanatic and Ukraine military recruiter Ryan Roof visited.
Of course!
Over 100 times before attempting to assassinate Donald Trump. It also happens to be the exact base where the New Orleans attacker served. See quote tweet. Interesting. And then we have more breaking. A Department of Defense access card belonging to Master Sergeant Matthew Allen Livelsberger was recovered from the Tesla Cybertruck that detonated outside the Trump Hotel on the Las Vegas Strip. Las Vegas police said he had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the Cybertruck's detonation. As the stream is titled, we really need better Psyops. This is just getting sad. Like there's no more like gas in the tank. Las Vegas police say the Cybertruck bomber was only able to be identified by a military ID and passport found in the vehicle because his body was burnt beyond recognition. Who knew that passports were so durable they can survive massive explosions? What are they making them out of? Super interesting. I did find this curious, though, because if you go to click this hotspot... Oh, it's back. Okay. Because I tried to check out the other hotspot. Oh. Weird.
Sure, it's not a different channel.
Might be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was this one and it had content on it. Now it's showing it didn't exist, which is curious.
Well, yeah, because
Anyway.
one says hotspot. This one says hotspot media. So
some good coverage from the homie Big Mad Crab. Las Vegas police have glowing praise for Elon, not just for locking down details of the Cybertruck, but for handing over all of the video from Tesla charging stations across the country. All of it. Musk isn't just selling cars, he's quietly erected a nationwide surveillance apparatus.
Directly to us, so I appreciate his help on it. Yes, actually, I have to thank Elon Musk specifically. He gave us quite a bit of additional information in regards to how the vehicle was locked after it exploded due to the force of the nature of the force from the explosion, as well as being able to capture all of the video from the Tesla charging stations across the country, and he sent that directly to us, so I appreciate his help on that. I'll take.
Thanks so much, Elon. That's real helpful. And now we've got all the spicy hot takes about it. So identified as the driver of the Cybertruck that exploded in Las Vegas is listed on LinkedIn as an operations director and intelligence manager with special forces experience. Come on, guys. This is like baby's first psyop. This is like I'm still being onboarded for my psyop career. But of course, that doesn't stop all of your favorite propaganda accounts from delivering a spicy hot take. Hours after a radicalized Islamic terrorist killed 15 people in a terrorist attack, terrorist supporters are calling for an Antifa revolution. Antifa means the mass murder of innocent Americans. People are marching in NYC to support it. Are they?
New Year's resolution!
Hey, what does that say right there?
Palestinian? Oh no, Palestinian. Covering.
Yeah, So maybe this isn't about like terrorism and killing people. Maybe this is just about like, I don't know. Please stop killing babies.
Antifa revolution! New Year's resolution!
Now, of course, Chaya, the woman that runs Libs of TikTok, is a massive Zionist and probably someone who works for the intelligence agencies.
I was gonna say that I like Tulsi Gabbard must have wrote that tweet because she's been talking about so much about Islamic terrorism or all that shit. That's so annoying. So yeah.
The craziest part about all of this, and this applies to everything to do with Palestine, as well as everything to do with what we're seeing just across the board when it comes to this new wave of like anti-Islam terrorist fear-mongering.
Mm-hmm.
They're using the same psyop that manufactured consent for the war in Iraq back in 2003. It's the same fucking propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't even altered it. It's the same playbook. You're either with us or you're with the terrorists. We're gonna go like, do some bullshit in the Middle East, and you got to be behind it because, scary boogeymen. It's the scary boogeymen. Anyway, this is actually really funny. This is Marjorie Titan Green, as I call her. The Las Vegas sheriff said that the Cybertruck's frame actually limited the blast, even protecting the Trump Hotel. I was impressed over the holidays when I tried out the full self-driving feature of a Cybertruck. It drove me to Starbucks and home flawlessly. But it's even more impressive that the integrity of the Cybertruck saved lives from the LV terrorist bomb. Now they need to release the name of the terrorist who did this. So, like, I guess she's like selling Tesla cars now, or I don't know. I don't even know what to do with this. She's got to be getting a kickback of some kind. Because goddamn. And we got a spicy, hot, and correct take from Fiorella Isabel. Weird how quickly this was labeled a terrorist attack by ISIS without evidence to back it up. In a moment when the Trump admin, full of raging Zionists, is coming in, Republicans are salivating to go to war with Iran, and there were several other bizarre attacks. Coincidence? No. That's what I'm saying. All of these weird attacks, this is intended to create a narrative. Both Democrats and Republicans have accused Iran of wanting to interfere in U.S. elections, again with no evidence. And the big elephant in the room, that Mossad, U.S. intel, and other Western nations are behind the creation of ISIS. Yet Syria's new terror regime is full of rebranded Al-Qaeda, and the West is backing them. That's funny. Due to economic challenges, CIA is now providing standard uniforms to employees. Another coincidence. Both the Tesla Cybertruck in the Vegas bombing and Ford F-150 used in the New Orleans attack were rented through the car share site Turo, an app site where people put their own cars for rent. What are the odds? The FBI is reportedly investigating connections. I hope it's getting easier for people to call bullshit on things that aren't adding up. Livelsberger served in the U.S. military for 19 years and, per his telegram, was an intelligence manager with experience in special forces. Come the fuck on, these folks don't act random. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, come on. This isn't even a believable psyop.
Yeah.
I really do think they just think people are this fucking stupid. And the problem is some of them are. So what do you do with that? Anyway. And you can... This is a funny video, but I want to point towards the narratives they're pushing here. All of a sudden, we're talking about ISIS again.
Yeah.
Just like that. This is a good one from Richard
Someone
Benhurst.
tell Biden that he doesn't need to run up or jog up the stairs to look cool or anything. Someone should tell him he doesn't have to do that.
Al-Qaeda and ISIS are made in Virginia. Trademark. Unclassified. See last item. AQ is on our side in Syria. Otherwise, things have basically turned out as expected. Islamist terrorism is an import. It is not homegrown. It did not exist here before migration brought it here. We get what you fuckers are doing, man. I can't believe they think we're this fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm insulted. I'm pretty damn insulted. And you should be too. Just a narrative about scary Muslim men assaulting white girls. Just out of nowhere, you know, guys? Just as you do. You just talk about this one day, and it's no coincidence. You know, you just talk about it, because it's like something to talk about. We're literally dealing with the same propaganda from 2003. They don't even respect you enough to make new propaganda. They're just rehashing the old propaganda, hoping everybody, I guess, forgot. I don't know what else, how else this is supposed to work on people. But I saw an interesting post here.
Creature of terrorists.
The FBI in TV and movies stops bad guys. The FBI in reality.
Who is the biggest recruiter of terrorists in the USA? And two, what would you do if you were broke, about to lose your house, and someone offered you 100 grand? And that's really, the answer to the first question is, rather surprisingly, the biggest recruiter of terrorists in the States is the FBI. And the answer to the second one gives you the clue as to how our story works. Because the FBI have accidentally, it seems, developed a system which works rather well. And the system is, they make up a terrorist plot, they find someone to try and carry it out, and they arrest them for doing that.
And then get the kudos for having fought the Great War against terrorism.
Well, they get all sorts of things, really. I mean, it's quite complicated, but I guess the essential element of our story is that these people are not terrorists, but the government ends up putting them in jail
for very long
as if they
terms.
were. Yes, 25, 30 years. And there's a close to 100% conviction rate in these cases. And I wasn't looking for this. I wasn't aware of this. I mean, I think we all sort of have a vague idea that the FBI may be involved in setting people up. But then when you follow the story that I did and you see it close up, it's jaw-dropping.
It's really shocking and very, very hard to believe. And yet the statistics, once you lay them out, are quite extraordinary. I mean, we're talking about 100 incidents of the FBI doing this, 100 known incidents.
More, actually, more. Yes, I mean, I say it's based on 100 true stories. That's
Yeah.
a sort of notional 100. It's in the right ballpark. It's more likely 300. But
300 times, the FBI have managed to pin a crime on essentially innocent people who were just part of some casual grouping, who they trained to be terrorists and then arrested and jailed.
yes, if I may take the FBI's side for a second, it sort of works like this. You're freaked out by 9/11. You have to cover yourself because you're implicated in some of the sloppy procedures that led to 9/11. So you talk the threat up. You say there's a sleeper cell in every city, and then you go and find it. Now, you don't know what you're looking for. And classically in the FBI, you talk about other people. You look at brown and black people because they are more likely, you think, to be a problem. And if somebody sticks their head up in one of those communities, then you surround them with false friends, informants, who will offer them money and friendship to try and lure them along a sort of carefully scripted program of self-incrimination, which results in that person going to jail. And you will say to the court as a prosecutor, is it better that this person goes to jail or that we let them go back out on the street? And the juries always say, better put them in jail.
So that's interesting. This is really curious. They just dropped this. Apparently, the press went into the New Orleans attackers' home. This is just, again, we really need better psyops. You need to watch this to believe it.
We are here inside the New Orleans terrorist home. You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see the Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant, and the property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals. Again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and his, what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran.
Wow, just an open Quran right there. That's crazy. I know when I live in a home that is totally my home, I also leave incriminating evidence just like that for people to break into my home and point cameras at.
With a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam and his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And if we go back, there's another bedroom here. You can see he left all these belongings, contact lenses, personal belongings, his bathroom. This seems to be some sort of workspace, again, with other chemicals here. The light's still on, some kind of station set up here. We're not really sure what that was for. In, what we can assume was also a bedroom. You can see clothes left here, and just a sign that someone was here up until those last few moments when neighbors said he left just before the New Year's holiday, saying he was done with his lease, it was up, and he was on his way to New Orleans where he would live there. Didn't take any furniture because he said his new home would be furnished. That's all we know so far. We are here.
Yeah, that's all just totally normal.
Yeah.
Totally just normal that definitely doesn't look like a house that somebody just rented and put a bunch of incriminating shit in.
Answer Stephanie's question. No, that's not that backpack sniffer. It's the one who sniffed that backpack was from CNN. She had a orange hair as well, or red hair, whatever it was. So no, totally different person.
Jeez. This really isn't passing the smell test. Listen, okay? You guys should see my home. Okay? There's all sorts of radical Marxist propaganda all over the... There is, though. Okay. You should see my home. There's all sorts of incriminating propaganda. I'm surprised he didn't have like a journal on the desk that's like, Dear Diary, today I'm going to do a terrorism because I hate America. I hope they don't create a greater Israel to stop me. Like, at that point, like, I would expect them to do that at this point. They're literally giving us 2003 W. Bush Iraq war on terror propaganda. They're not even changing it up for you. This is how much these people fucking hate us. They're not even doing us the service of like, maybe they're a little too smart for that. We'll try a different angle. No, they're just going straight for the like, LOL, these people are brain dead. We're just going to give the dumbest propaganda ever, and they're going to believe it because we think they're stupid, and we want them to be stupid goblins that eat bugs. This one's a little too on the nose as far as the propaganda is concerned.
Oh, him.
Jack Fedsobiek. Amazing how ISIS magically returned just as Trump is poised to pull us out of Syria. I mean, that is amazing. It is definitely amazing that ISIS just magically returned. But this is a little too on the nose. Because we're all noticing this is amazing that they magically came out of nowhere for a much different reason. Which is, this is a psyop, and what's going to come of this? What are we doing here, guys? Like, for real, I'm asking the questions that other people don't want to ask.
Yeah.
All right. It is time to give Indy a fucking heart attack.
Oh, man.
Because guess what, guys? For all the people who couldn't get enough of COVID, we're getting a sequel. Did you guys know we are getting a sequel to COVID? That's right.
This shortage is hitting shoppers hard. Grocery store shelves are empty or scarce, and people are paying up to $9 or $10 for a dozen.
I've seen people at Costco like literally buying a big case of eggs where like most of them are broken just because they want eggs.
The shortage is the result of the spread of avian influenza, or the bird flu. It's been in the United States since 2022, but the USDA says a current outbreak has affected 7.7 million birds in California, emptying grocery store shelves across the state.
They're saying, oh, Costco had no eggs. Oh, Walmart's out of eggs. Oh, eggs are too expensive over here.
Now more people are visiting Hilliker's Ranch Fresh Eggs in Lakeside.
Well, it's good for business. It's also a little hectic. We have to put limits on. You know, sometimes our limit might be one egg item, whether it's a flat or a dozen. Sometimes it's two. Hey, thanks again, ma'am, for being patient.
Owner Frank Hilliker says there's been lines up the driveway onto the street.
Our goal is just to kind of dribble them out and make sure people can get something every day.
$4.50. But he says he's never seen an outbreak this severe. Earlier this month, Governor Newsom proclaimed a state of emergency to streamline and expedite the state's response to the bird flu.
It's always a huge concern.
When chickens get infected, it wipes out the whole flock. Bird flu has only been detected in one farm in San Diego. It was back in 2022.
The government comes in and they help you, but all the birds have to get euthanized, and then we have to be clean, which means no avian influenza on the farm for 4 months, and then we can repopulate.
Hillikers is taking safety precautions to prevent the disease from coming to the farm. Right now, there's no telling when the shortage and outbreak will come to an end. In Lakeside, Alex Lai, CBS 8.
Thank you.
All right. Witchy with the correct take. No, they're doing this because the rich want us to not eat meat or dairy. I've been screaming this from the rooftops for a hot minute. You always got to look at, whenever you're trying to figure out an angle of one piece of propaganda or another, you have to look at what the focus of the propaganda is. And in order to do that, you always have to ask yourself, what is the majority of the focus in this article or news segment on? It is always on the food supply here. I went over 10 different bird flu scare pieces. They didn't even mention the actual harm it poses to humans. They don't even care. All they're talking about is, yep, livestock, the chickens, the eggs, yeah, it's the milk too, it's in the milk. The sole focus, the obsession here is the food supply. And I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they're getting a little spooked that we're starting to actually gain class consciousness here in the West, and they need to prevent organizing efforts. And what better way than a lockdown, right? But my gut tells me the target is the food. And then maybe in the midst of this emergency, they're going to be like, well, humans do need to get protein. So as part of our emergency measures, we've introduced these new cricket eggs that you can fry up. They're just like normal eggs. I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But we got more though. We got more.
Meantime, a doctor who served in the first Trump administration is now issuing a warning about the potential threat of bird flu. Former White House coronavirus response coordinator Deborah Birx says the U.S. has not learned lessons from the COVID-19 pandemic. Birx says the bird flu is starting to show signs of its own pandemic potential. This comes after the virus mutated inside a Louisiana patient who came down with a severe case of the illness.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, it's starting. And I can prove it. I can prove that they're ramping up. Do you guys remember the weird troll farm accounts with COVID? You guys might have remembered these. It's like someone makes a COVID account and they're like, I'm COVID. I'm looking really forward to infecting a lot of people. Well, now we've got bird flu troll farm accounts. Hi, everybody. It's so exciting. I think 2025 is going to be my year. Thanks to you humans for ignoring my approach and downplaying my severity. Now, don't go wearing a mask. That would spoil the party. Happy flu year. H5N1, COVID, flu, mask up. And this is how I know this account is sus. It's only made 30 posts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It joined September 2011.
Yeah.
And it just, every post is just this big scary, plenty of AI, because everybody's got to do AI now. Again, the food supply. While you dither, I've been busy making friends. Chickens, foxes, bears, seals, cats, dogs, goats, cows, Texas farm workers. Correct cookies. And there's a bunch of these accounts. Now I found this really fucking interesting. Because I want to put a bit of a disclaimer. Now Disclose.tv kind of got this wrong. New White House just posted a video on the YouTube channel entitled "The Time to Move Forward Is Now," which shows masked Americans. So the video was from January 20th, 2021. However, the White House did repost it. Not repost as in like, I'm going to take your blow and deal a blow of my own and deal 12 damage. Not that repost. I mean repost as in, like they posted it again. So I don't know if that music's copyrighted or not, so I'm just gonna non-music it. But look at the focus of the video. Everything is just a fucking mask. That's the whole point of the video.
Yeah.
And listen, for the record, I'm not even one of these people who like goes apeshit over masks. I'm fine wearing a mask. I don't care. I really don't care. I played by the rules with COVID. I wore the mask. You know, I did the distancing thing. I didn't break the rules. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm critical now was after years of them getting so many fucking things wrong, and after years of them misleading us on multiple levels, I kind of snapped out of it. So I don't want people thinking I'm one of these like, I just hate this because I'm mad at Joe Biden and I love Trump. It's not that. Okay? I took the pandemic seriously initially because I'd been talking about a pandemic for a very long time. You know, one day we're going to have a virus pop off. It's happened before, it'll happen again. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just do what I was planning on doing before. And then they got, I can't even keep track of how many things wrong. Like, it was almost like they were deliberately trying to get everything wrong. And I said on Twitter, like, monkeypox, and we'll go over some of the we'll go over the sentiment, because this is a point I'm trying to make. Oh, wrong article. I'm stupid. This is the point I'm trying to make. Because the point I made on bird flu is the reason why monkeypox didn't really land is because essentially they started talking about monkeypox. And then everybody just rolled their eyes and ignored them. And then monkeypox magically went away. And the thing is, this is the sentiment when it comes... I'm sorry, this joke is fucking amazing. It's one of the best jokes I've ever seen in my life. Bird flu? Well, yes, that's what they're supposed to do. Eh? I wish I'm so mad I didn't fucking think of that. But there's a million of these tweets. Bird flu's a scam. Don't fall for it. Lesson learned. This time around, let's not save them. I hope MAGA's being truthful and they reject any vaccines against the bird flu and COVID. That would be excellent news. Okay, well, that's a little psychotic, but that's liberals for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just check this out. The comment section. I will not comply. No exceptions, no excuses. I will not comply. I will comply with whatever is reasonable. Last time around, very little past that task. Bill Gates has entered the chat. See, because of how poorly they handled COVID, pharmacies say no, get off my property, do not comply. We must test every cow in America on a weekly basis for bird flu using PCR. Biden administration signs contract with Moderna for an mRNA bird flu vaccine. Me liking all the MAGA I will not comply posts regarding bird flu. And this is kind of, here we go. The media are starting to push this H5N1 avian bird flu, which experts now claim has jumped into mammals and now into humans and could be 100 times worse than COVID. Flashback August 2023, Russian MIL claimed the US were preparing a new pandemic just like they did in 2019. The Russians even specifically mentioned avian bird flu as one of the viruses the US were modifying to infect humans and orchestrate man-made pandemics. Mass mail invaliding. Okay, so this is kind of the point I'm making. The pandemic wrecked people's trust in public health so much that even if bird flu does become a serious concern, even if it does become like a terrifying global pandemic that makes COVID look like the sniffles, because of how badly they fucked up COVID, nobody's going to listen. People are just going to roll their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, whether or not you roll your eyes, if the point of this is just go after the food supply, they can just say it's bird flu and go after the food supply. The whole like complying with lockdowns and mandates and, you know, I don't think the rich and powerful actually want another like trucker convoy situation. But they can absolutely just go after the food supply. And the thing is, like, nobody's wrong for being mistrustful. I trusted our health institutions. And then they got this wrong. Then they got that wrong. And then they got this wrong. Then they got that wrong. And then they were caught lying here. And then they were caught lying there. And I was like, okay, well, I can't trust you. Also, because I understand enough about the capitalist system, I know for a fact that the well-being of people is never going to be given priority over profit, over control. Those are far bigger prime aims for the capitalist class than the well-being of people. If I lived somewhere like Cuba, I'd have been like, yeah, I trust you. Because you guys benefit from a healthy population. Not here in capitalism. They don't care. They almost prefer people being sick. Anyway, this was a really interesting article. We're going to end this segment with this just because I found it interesting. Face mask mandates return in multiple states as doctors warn of quademic. Alex, it's a quademic. Okay? Okay, Sweaty?
I hear you.
This verbiage is just so fucking goofy. A quadruple whammy. A quadruple whammy of... I can't even... A quadruple whammy of viruses are hitting the U.S. as millions go back to work after the holidays, data shows. Official figures reveal that infections caused by...
Yeah. Infections caused. Yeah, it should be caused.
Yeah. By flu, COVID, RSV, and norovirus all started to surge over the Christmas period when families gathered to celebrate. And experts say figures will only continue to rise over the coming weeks as the U.S. heads into the peak period of its annual flu season. Data shows that norovirus cases are at their highest level for this time of the year since 2012. Excuse me. While RSV hospitalizations are up nearly 40% in 2 weeks. An estimated 3.1 people have been sickened by the flu so far this season, while 37,000 have been hospitalized and 1,500 have died. And the number of states with very high levels of the disease has quadrupled in a week to 8. There also have been an estimated 2.5 to 4.4 million COVID cases between October 1st and December 7th, estimates suggest, including 72,000 to 120,000 hospitalizations and 8,200 to 13,000 deaths. The surge in infections is prompting a return of mask mandates in some states, with a hospital system in Wisconsin this week becoming the latest to reinstate them. Hospitals in parts of California, Illinois, Indiana, and New Jersey have also brought back the rules for staff and visitors. Officials in New York City are urging people to consider wearing a face mask on public transport. Ooh, scary. Look at all the red. Look at all the red. There's some purple. Purple scarier than red. Ah! Experts say the surge in winter infections is being driven by increased mixing over the holiday period and also by travel on public transport and airplanes. A question I will always ask: why were none of these deaths politicians? Because the only virus that takes care of those problems is the Luigi virus.
No.
The issue is compounded by the fact that people's immune systems were weakened during COVID lockdowns and work from home rules, leaving some at greater risk of more severe illness. Oh, was that what weakened people's immune systems? Interesting. I can think of a couple other things that might have contributed as well, but let's that's just so fucking funny. They're like, because of the measures we put in place, because of the pandemic, your immune system's fucked. Hello? Who was writing this? Again, we need better psyops. This is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Dr. Joseph Brissi, an infectious diseases expert who spent 2 decades at the CDC, told DailyMail.com, "What we are seeing now is an increasing amount of respiratory disease and norovirus that is really all over the US. It is what we see most years, and we will probably see increasing amounts over the next few weeks as well." The expert, who also works for the Task Force for Global Health, added, "For each of these 4 viruses, we will see increases through January, and then they will peak sometime in January or early February. But the peaks will be slightly different depending on where you live in the US." Dr. Todd Rice, a professor of medicine in Tennessee, told a local provider, "Being indoors and around a lot of people can lead to more viral spread." Well, pick one. You want us to stay indoors or go outside?
Exactly.
The 8 states with the very high levels of flu are Louisiana, Washington, Tennessee, Alabama, California, Idaho, New Mexico, and Mississippi. Data also shows that for RSV, an estimated 22,000 to 45,000 people have been hospitalized with the disease since October, while 980 to 2,300 have died. Its hospitalization rate was up nearly 40% to 1.8 per 100,000 in the week to December 7th, the latest available, compared to 1.3 in the week to November 23. Oh my God. To avoid getting sick, the CDC recommends getting the annual flu vaccination and staying up to date on COVID and RSV vaccines. Flu and COVID shots are recommended for those aged 6 months and older, while the RSV vaccine is available for those who are 75 years old and above. It also recommends other actions to help limit the spread of viruses, including frequent hand washing, covering coughs and sneezes, and staying at home when sick. But you just said the problem was staying at home. Make up your mind! Anyway. So that's where we're at. We are ramping up for an interesting 2025. I don't know what everybody else's predictor is. My predictor is food supply. That's kind of the focus here. And again, it's not, I'm not inferring that it's all planned. What I'm inferring is these people, the establishment, they are the masters of never let a good crisis go to waste. Which you saw in COVID, because it resulted in the largest transfer of wealth our species has ever fucking seen. Doesn't matter what happens, they'll find a way to capitalize. That's what capitalists do. Anyway. My main takeaway, though, guys, is don't forget the lessons that these people didn't learn with COVID. Because I learned lessons with COVID. I learned a lot of lessons with COVID. I learned our health institutions, might be less rock solid than I had believed beforehand. I learned that no matter how scary a crisis is, nothing is going to prevent the machine from capitalizing on it and getting those lovely profits. I also learned what our governments are capable of when citizens stand up and say no, and that's something we need to prepare for. That old lady, that old disabled lady in Canada getting trampled by a horse because she was part of a movement against mandates. Always remember that old lady, because that old lady could be you one day. That's what our government is capable of when people say no. Same thing with all the jackboots on the college campuses. The second students started protesting and urging their universities to divest from Israel while it's conducting an act of genocide. Jackboots always come out when you say no. It's like I always say, fascism is just capitalism in distress. That's all it is. I learned Italians and hoodies rule. Hey, Luigi didn't do anything wrong. Okay? I didn't see shit. What makes you think it's to lock down MAGA? What purpose does that serve? MAGA's the last group that willfully locked down. Cookies, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that for one reason. And I think maybe they overplayed their hand, but in my opinion, just my personal opinion, there's a good chance that a lot of people would lock down if Trump just said fucking lockdown. You know why I think that? Because the lockdown started with Trump. And MAGA conveniently has just forgotten that. They've pivoted all of the blame for that to the Biden administration. Mm-hmm. Trump also did Operation Warp Speed. So if you have some concerns, however valid, about the treatments for COVID, it started with Donald. They don't care about that either. So I don't really know how to parse that one. You know, they might go for it. If Trump's like, yeah, we got to lock down, or. But again, like I'm saying, I think they've got a different. I think there's a different objective to capitalize on if bird flu does pop off and it becomes a serious threat. I think they've kind of just been waiting for a virus, provided it's not another like gain of function chimeric nightmare. I think they've kind of been waiting for a virus they can blame on going after the food supply, the protein, the meat, the eggs, the milk. Because, you know, it's the same way Marx used to talk about gruel when it came to the peasantry. You know, those bugs are super cheap, and human beings need protein. Personally, if they take away meat, I would highly recommend just eating kidney beans, because that shit is delicious. But we don't know. That's kind of the sad part. But I'm willing to bet that it's going to be meat related. It's going to be farm related. And that's only because that's like the obsession in all of the information I've seen on bird flu so far. Hey, Natalie. Trump mandated government employees to get the jabby jab. That's right. Another thing they completely forget. None of them talk about it. None of the cult talks about any of this shit. So we will see. I personally hope, like, you know, it just becomes, because I'm seeing a mixed bag when it comes to bird flu. So far, I'm seeing like there's apparently multiple strains. One of them's got like a 50% fatality rate. And the thing about that one is you don't actually want the fatality rate to be that high. Because we had a SARS outbreak up here in Canada. And it fizzled out really quickly because it was so fucking lethal that it killed people too quick and it couldn't spread. But if you got the fatality rate low enough that someone's walking around and they're you know, blowing virus over everybody, that's the scenario you don't want. So we'll see.
Just want to mention something real quick. I actually got to end early right now. I'm a little tired, so but yeah, I should be back on next week. So
no worries, man. It's an open door here, so that goes to that goes for anybody else. If you guys ever want to come on and hang out, doors open. I'm just hanging out here, shitting and farting.
Yeah. All right. Catch you next time.
Peace, man. Now it's just my ugly mug. Sorry about that. But I digress. None of us really know how the bird flu thing is going to pan out. Can I come on next week, Snow Himbo? Fuck no. No, I'm kidding. You absolutely can. I'll make a note to send you a link 15 minutes before I go live next week. But I digress. Let's see. I completely disagree with you and Himbo, Miss Witchy. MAGA aren't as much of the sheeple as Dems are. They are sheeple, but not as bad from what I experienced. Listen, again, like I said before, it's not it's not that MAGA is a monolith, because MAGA is just MAGA, right? But we're on the other side or whatever, and half of us hate Joe Biden and shit on liberals 24/7, and yell at these idiots whenever they do a stupid thing and criticize all of the things. There's people on that MAGA side too, because at the end of the day, it's just working class people. Okay? There's going to be a lot of MAGA cultists who will do whatever Trump says. Absolutely. But there's also a fair bit of people, you know, who are like, they're just like you and me. I've talked to a ton of Trump supporters. Yeah, there is definitely sheep in MAGA, but it's not as much of a monolith as you think. You know, there's a lot of ex-MAGA people who were MAGA and now they're not MAGA. You know? There's going to be a lot of people who probably like dip out. Because like, don't forget, a lot of these people are learning the same lessons we did with like Obama or Trudeau or Bernie, or for some people, Clinton. Like, they're learning the same lesson, that the whole shtick of vote for me, I'm going to change it from the inside, is always going to be a scam. And yeah, a lot of them may not have learned the first time around. But, you know, a lot of people didn't learn the first time around with Obama. And then he got in again. Look how that fucking turned out. So, I've talked to a lot of MAGA people, and they're like, yeah, I don't really like the guy, but he's better than Biden. He's better than Harris. A lot of these MAGA people are doing the same dice roll, lesser evil sort of, you know, gamble that people who, you know, plug their nose and vote for Harris or Biden or Democrats in general. They're like, yeah, I don't like it. They don't really ever do anything. They're way too corporate aligned. I don't like their imperialism, et cetera, but in my mind, that's a better gamble than the other gamble. Bad Cookies, can I come on next week, Himbo? You absolutely can. Remind me to send you a DM. That'll be a good time. You, me, and Witchy. Them sheeple are rabid. I argue it's not even about like Democrat sheeple versus MAGA sheeple. I think these are essentially the same type of person. I don't think there's a lot of difference between the like MAGA obsessed cultist who twists themselves into pretzels to justify everything Trump does, and the super shit liberal David Pakman types who do the same thing when it comes to Biden. The Destiny types. I think these people are very similar. That's why whenever they talk, they agree on a lot. I think these are just people who have like a naturally reactionary mindset. They have a peasant's mindset. As Russell Dobular always says, de-peasantify your mind. There's a lot of MAGA people who have de-peasantified their mind. But there's a lot of them who haven't, and they're still peasants, hoping for the Lord to sprinkle down some goodies. Num num, I like those crumbs. And you know, those people, we gotta wake up. And the best way to wake those fucking people up is to say, hey, look, man, I was here. You know? I really thought insert liberal politician here was gonna fix the system. And I know all of you guys were there too, right? Do you guys remember your first politician that you voted for with an earnest hope that they would change shit for the better? We all had one. We all had one that we got on board. For a lot of people, it was Obama. You know, he was like the savior. Comes in after the Bush administration. Everybody's tired of everything. Or Bernie. Bernie got a lot of people. Bernie got a lot of people across the political spectrum. There was that crazy picture of like where his donations came from. They were across the fucking country. Red state, blue state, didn't matter. So we've all got this one person. Well, for a lot of people, that person's Trump. Like it or hate it. Bernie got me, but not getting fooled again. Exactly. And there's going to be a lot of people after the second Trump term who's going to be saying that about Trump. And I'm going to make it my mission to reach as many people as I can saying, hey man, look, I get it. You got played by the whole change from the within card. And that's a real shtick. It's a shtick that works because here's what you're doing. Whenever you support like a Trump or a Bernie or an Obama or a Trudeau or a insert hero figure here, what you're doing is you're switching from a revolutionary mindset to a reactionary mindset. Because instead of going, the system is fucked, we need to break it down, or the system is fucked, we need a new system, you're going, the system is fucked, but if we operate within that system, we can change the fucked system. But that never works because the system is fucked to begin with. The rich and powerful aren't just going to let people walk in and be like, hey, you know what? Politicians with your billionaire donors, you know what? Bourgeoisie and your endless control and capital accumulation, this party's over. We're going to give the workers the means of production. You know what they would do? They would put a fucking bullet in your head. That's what they do. That is absolutely what they would do. So, we got some more stuff though. I'm not done. Because the MAGA industrial complex, the cottage industry around fluffing Trump's melted balls, is up to some really cringe shit. Electing Mike Johnson as Speaker ensures Republican unity. I trust Trump in his decision to back Mike Johnson. Back Mike Johnson. Trump does. Look at the comments. I don't agree with Trump's decision, but I think he might have a reason nobody knows about. I hope so. Bro, they're like... Dude, they're like, I think this is objectively bad, but I can't handle that. So I need to make it some secret reason why it's something objectively good. That's the level of cope we're at, y'all. Damn, they bought you out, huh? This account really fell off. Andrea again. Imagine if you actually held Trump to the same standards as you do Biden and Kamala. But you don't. You MAGA cultists will defend your cult leader no matter how corrupt or anti-American his actions are. The system depends on useful idiots like you. And Trump can always have him fired after the 6th if he doesn't act right. Trump does is not a sufficient reason. Trump ran on draining the swamp. Johnson was as bad or worse than McCarthy. If your point is that there are not enough votes to get the kind of speaker we want, that's a valid argument. But we're not a cult. And I don't plan on acting like I'm in one. There are senators and reps we need to primary. There are policies that need to be debated and rules that need to be changed. Telling people to fall in line and go back to sleep is a non-starter. Trump-backed Mark Robinson, Herschel Walker, Carrie Lake, Mehmet Oz, Tom Tillis, Lindsey Graham, and Joni Ernst. Too bad Republicans listen to him. Only cult members let others do the thinking for them. Cough, shill, cough. Oh no. No, he's wrong about this. No, Trump is wrong. He's made bad decisions before as well. This is what I find really interesting. We're seeing a pronounced break between, and I haven't seen this a lot, we're seeing a break between the MAGA industrial complex, like the propagandists, the Harry Sassans for the right, you know, the David Pacmans of MAGA world. We're seeing a break between them and like the people, just like the average people who are like, no, this sucks. What the fuck are you doing? And all of these accounts are acting like NPCs. Here's another one, community notes and violations. We can't afford a division right now. No more fighting. Mike Johnson for speaker. Reposting this. I trust Trump to get this right. I trust Trump as an instrument of God. I trust Johnson as an instrument of the Uniparty. Okay, but like, not a chance. We need a later, not on APAC payroll. Interesting. It's good to see people on the right at least pushing back on the Israel thing. I don't think the billionaires expected the pushback on Israel. I'm going to be honest, I don't think they planned for that. But you are seeing a lot of it. Seeing a lot of people being like, what about America first? This is Israel first. And we have a development on Visagate, as I call it. I didn't expect this motherfucker to be retweeting fucking Bernie Sanders. Like, what timeline have we entered into? I'm just kidding, guys. I know all these people are pretty much like next to each other ideologically. It's okay. No audio? Okay. Elon Musk is wrong. The main function of the H-1B visa program is not to hire the best and brightest, but rather to replace good-paying American jobs with low-wage indentured servants from abroad. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money the billionaires make. Chestnut checkers? Why is Bernie making more sense right now than Elon and Vivek? Oh no. This is so fucking weird. We live in clown galaxy. Although I will say, I feel like a lot of MAGA are secretly Bernie curious. I've always kind of felt that way. There's a lot of MAGA people who have this weird exception for Bernie in their head. Where it's like, fuck the left, hate liberals, they're all radical communists. Bernie, though, I don't know. It's interesting. Makes me wonder if, like, the policies themselves aren't actually unpopular. Maybe the central problem is a lack of trust. Maybe people are looking at these corporate robots like Kamala Harris or Pete Buttigieg and going, yeah, I don't trust you guys. You don't seem like real humans. You seem like Chat GPT. And then you see someone like Bernie talking, you actually kind of buy him. Yes, he's a sellout sheepdog. I'm not here to fluff Bernie's balls. But I'm just saying, it's something I've noticed. That a lot of the MAGA people are more amicable towards Bernie types than they are to like fucking, you know, the swamp creatures. Are you ordering from the Shmooly sex store again? We covered this on Politically Homeless, but there was that... Did you guys ever see that hilarious debate Shmooly had with Alex Jones? Where Alex Jones, like, asked him if he was wearing a butt plug. Oh, man. That debate was incredible. That was just... I know it was basically like two Israel assets duking it out, like pretend style, but it was still... I found it very entertaining. Anyway. Shout out to friend of the... Hold on. Wrong article again. Fuck. Here's a report from antiwar.com. Biden was presented with options to bomb Iran's nuclear facilities. According to Axios, the options were presented by Jake Sullivan in a meeting a few weeks ago. So again, this whole Greater Israel thing is... That's one prediction I will make. I think 2025, we're going to see a lot of the framework for Greater Israel start to really take hold. Anyway. In other news, the Israel shit's actually somehow getting worse. Friend of the show, Nico House, breaks it down here.
The 119th Congress just started their session, and they're already trying to sneak in a clause to protect Netanyahu from international accountability. In a resolution recently introduced by the 119th Congress, they threatened to impose sanctions on the International Criminal Court for any effort to investigate, arrest, detain, or prosecute any person the United States considers an ally. And we know this is specifically referring to Netanyahu for a couple of reasons. First of all, we know Netanyahu has an international arrest warrant initiated by the International Criminal Court as of November 21st, 2024. Second of all, Thomas Massie actually took to Twitter to tell the entire world that Congress was trying to sneak in this clause in the House Rules package, and it was specifically about the International Criminal Court and Netanyahu. And I know in that tweet, Thomas Massie says that the United States is allegedly a sovereign nation, but shit, I can't tell the way that our politicians stay bending over for Israel. And just look at the verbiage of this clause. They make it explicitly clear that they're not concerned with innocence or guilt. They don't even want the International Criminal Court to investigate the United States allies. The United States Congress is actively advocating for international lawlessness. The same United States that just overthrew or helped to overthrow the Syrian government because of claims that Assad was engaging in lawless behavior. The same Congress that has constantly accused Putin of engaging in international lawlessness. But if you and your allies are not doing anything wrong, why would you have a problem with a justice system, an international justice system, simply investigating whether or not you're guilty? And I'm sure the answer to that is because if you investigate, you find answers. And when those answers are found, the international community knows exactly how evil you are, because that's exactly what happened with the International Criminal Court and Netanyahu. And the genocide Netanyahu and Israel are committing right now as we speak in Gaza. But in my opinion, this isn't even just about Netanyahu. They're also trying to protect another person who's probably going to end up being investigated when everything is said and done in Ukraine. And that man would be Zelensky. I mean, considering Zelensky has literally sent his soldiers to prop up terrorists all over the world at this point, it's safe to assume that the United States is scared that once this war has ended, Zelensky could be on the chopping block on the ICC. And if they investigate Zelensky, the world will know just how involved in the corruption that took place in Ukraine the United States was. And we know they can't have that. But it isn't just Netanyahu and Zelensky that this would affect potentially, but any of the United States allies going forward. Basically, if their allies commit war crimes, they want them to be protected by the United States and unaccountable to the rest of the world. But if the United States accuses somebody of committing a war crime, they want the rest of the world to be okay with the United States and its allies overthrowing said government. I know the United States Congress has been an embarrassment for probably longer than I've been alive. But to try to sneak in a law that would officially protect war criminals only because they're your allies, that's a new low entirely. And most of us wouldn't even have known if Thomas Massie didn't pull the mask off, which is even sadder that none of our liberal progressive allies decide to speak out against this. And this is why people are talking revolution now instead of voting your way out of this. Because there's no voting your way out of a Congress that wants to protect war criminals committing a genocide. And when voting in peaceful resolution is not possible, we all know what's inevitable. And let's just be honest, they probably got it coming.
Based. Damn, Nico. Busting out the Comrade Lenin. Yeah, that's about where we're at. But to be perfectly honest, I think a lot of what we're seeing right now is because the rich and powerful kind of sense that there is kind of revolution brewing. I think that's kind of the reason why we're seeing so many of these mechanisms come into place. I'm not saying this is definitely the case, but I feel like the fact that they're ramping up all these different scenarios right now that may result in people being forcefully detained for homegrown terrorism or a new boogeyman virus at the exact time that it seems like people are actually gaining class consciousness. I don't know. I don't think it's a coincidence. But yeah. Anyway, everybody, that's all I had for this week. Bit of a shorter show, but to be perfectly honest, I'm wiped. I don't know why. Just like this week back to work, it fucking crushed me. So I'm probably gonna hit the sack, as they call it. But I will be back next week with another Maple Files and also Snow Himbo streams next week. Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen in the next 7 days, really. Probably be one hell of a show. Because they'll probably have a dozen more Psyops just fired off every day until then. But anyway, if you haven't, please subscribe at Snow Himbo. Subscribe to the INN network. Yeah, thank you guys as always for coming and hanging out with me. Hope this is helpful. It's definitely cathartic for me. Yeah. As always, keep questioning everything, and I'll see everybody.